Hello fellow AFOLs and welcome to Long's Bricks. Today we are taking a look at LEGO Icon Set 40693, the Fell Beast from The Lord of the Rings. It has 269 pieces, and this was a free gift with purchase set when you purchased the Barad-dûr, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, Sauron's Tower from The Lord of the Rings, the large 18 plus set that just came out on June 1st. And this thing is pretty cool. I'm very excited to add this one to the collection. I'm going to go ahead and start with the box first. So a pretty standard little box here. We have a picture of the Fell Beast here being ridden by one of the Nazgul or ring wraiths with this tiny little parapet piece for it to perch on. I think it's kind of interesting that, I'm assuming the name of the set is Fell Beast, but it's not kind of written anywhere in any kind of official capacity. You have the Lord of the Rings logo down here. The standard kind of gray border down here for the Icons theme. Over here on the side, you get kind of a close-up view of the Fell Beast. Over here on this side, just kind of some legal jargon and whatnot. Same thing down here, New Line Cinema logo. Up here, some alternate language options for Fell Beast. And then you have your 1-to-1 scale picture of the Nazgul. Although, again, no labels or anything. I just think that's kind of interesting. And then over here, just kind of an alternate picture of the Fell Beast flying through the sky, which looks pretty cool. So, very simplistic box, but definitely very stylistic. I like the kind of black background with just a little pop of color in the center, and then the Icons banner down below. So, sharp-looking box. Let's go ahead and take a look at the set itself. So here it is, the Fell Beast with its Nazgul rider. Definitely a very cool set. As you can see here, the Fell Beast has a very impressive wingspan. It's absolutely massive. Kind of a simplistic set. The build is obviously mostly the Fell Beast, and then you have the one minifigure, and then the tiny little kind of castle parapet piece for it to perch on. I'm going to go ahead and start off by taking a closer look at the minifigure. So here is the Nazgul or Ring Wraith, Dark Rider, one of the 9, whatever terminology you like to use. Pretty standard little minifigure here. There's not really too much to talk about. You do have the nice sword, which is included. That looks really sharp. A little bit of chest printing there. The legs are pretty bare bones, just normal black minifigure legs there. You have a solid black minifigure head with that new cloak piece. And then you have this kind of tattered cape, which does look pretty cool. If I remove the cape, you can see not really much going on here. You have the tiniest little bit of back printing, but all in all, it's a pretty sparse minifigure in terms of printing. I mean, it does the job, it's mostly black, which totally makes sense. I don't know that I would need a ton more printing, but really just kind of the torso front and back is all you get. Taking a look at the little castle perch piece, it's a very simple build. You just have these two gray plates here and then the lighter gray for a little bit of a buildup of rock. One little texture piece there. Really not too much going on with this. It's a very simple little build, just so it has something to kind of display on. I think it's nice that it was included, but it's very simplistic. And now for the main event, the Fell Beast itself. As I mentioned earlier, it has a very impressive wingspan. I kind of have them curved up a little bit, but if you have them straight down to the side, I would say it's probably at least a foot in length, if not longer. Very impressive wingspan. The wings here are done with these vinyl pieces that you kind of pop over these little ball joint sections here. We've seen that before with dragons. Very nicely printed here on the wings. I think they did a nice job with the scaling pattern. I think that looks pretty cool. You have a hinge here so that you can move them up and down if you'd like to kind of simulate a flapping action, or just to get some dynamic poses. You have the little perch here for the Ring Wraith. Now, the one thing I will say, because he has the cape, it makes it a little difficult to actually get him to sit here. You kind of have to bring the cape back, and he just pops in. Let me put the wings down here. Just kind of pops on here like so, and then the cape kind of just lays across that, but there's not like a great way. You can see it's not really situated. I wish there was like a little bit of an indent maybe for the cape to drop down, or I don't really know what they could have done, but just something to kind of solve that issue a little bit. You have a ball joint at this section here, as well as here and here, So you have a nice range of motion for the different segments of the neck. And then, of course, at the base of the skull, the mouth can open and close, and you have this little piece here to simulate a tongue. Now, there is absolutely no printing whatsoever for the eyes, and I have to try to think back to the last time I saw the movie. I don't believe these creatures have very pronounced features for the head, so it is possible that they don't have eyes. I mean, when you think about the Nazgul, they really don't have a face that you can see unless, you know, you're wearing the ring. But it's would make sense that they really just don't have any kind of descript features, and that's why they decided to print no eyes or anything like that. I saw a couple people online commenting that they should have eyes, and I could totally see that, because when you think of a dragon, you think that it should have eyes. But I think it's kind of like more in keeping and spookier generally to have kind of a featureless face, you know, kind of flying around, just drawn by the ring and not really seeing anything. It's just kind of being drawn to its power. I think that's kind of a neat idea. And you can see that they have the kind of tan underbelly sections here, which I think works really well. So really nice range of motion for all of the different neck segments there. I think that works. I just popped the ball joint out, as you can see. Pop that back in. But yeah, still really nice range of motion. For some reason, going side to side, it doesn't seem to like that as much. Up and down's no problem, but you can still do it. But going side to side seems to want to pop it out of the ball joint there. So up and down, absolutely no issue. Side to side can be done, but tends to want to pop it out of the ball joint. So I'm guessing they're mostly used for up and down movement. But even still, you can kind of having rear its head up like this. You can have it kind of look down. Still nice range of motion there. We talked about the wings already. We'll come down here to the feet. So the feet are on ball joints as well. Similar ball joints to what is being used in the neck. So you have a little bit of range of motion there. And then you have some movement here with these hinges. And then you have the talons that can kind of swing up and down on their little connector ports there. Bringing us to the back with the tail. Now there are two segments here, so there are ball joints, but because they use two of them, you can really only move this side to side. You can't really move it up and down at all because of those two ball joints, but you can move it side to side, no issue. And for whatever reason, these are having no issue moving side to side. I don't know why this one was having an issue moving side to side. This one has no problem whatsoever. And then you have more segments here for the tail, so no problems back here either. You can move all of these segments, and then this is one solid piece for this last segment here, with the tiniest tip piece of the tail being able to just move up and down. And I like the way these are built because they all have something different to them. It's not just the same piece over and over again. You can see obviously the largest segment here, and then this one is kind of built with just one of these pieces here, and then this has the two tile pieces, and then this is kind of raised up like that so as to not have to do two individual pieces there. And then, of course, you have these spikes on all of them. A little bit larger spike here, closer to the rider, as well as having a larger spike here, and then same size spikes down here. But all in all, I think it's really nicely done. It would be nice to have a bunch of these, because, of course, there are 9 Nazgul, as well as you'd want one for the Witch King. Now, the Witch King is included in the Barad-dûr set. So if you wanted to pop him on here and have him riding the Fell Beast, you could certainly do so. But this is kind of another situation very similar to the troop transport from May the 4th, where it's something you might want to army build, but it is locked as a gift with purchase item. So that's kind of a bummer. Now, I mean, some people might be perfectly happy with just one, and that's good. But I've already seen that this thing is kind of commanding crazy prices on the secondary market, so definitely not something you're going to want to collect 9 of, or possibly 10 for the Witch King, at the prices that I've seen. So, very happy to have this one added to the collection. Don't know if maybe they'll do something in the future. Maybe a slightly different build will be released later. It does seem like Lord of the Rings as a theme is starting to make a comeback, which would be very cool. No idea what they have planned for the future. We had, obviously, when those movies were out, we had a lot of, well, I should say, when they first got the license, they did a lot of sets for the original trilogy. Then they were making sets as the Hobbit movies were coming out. And then kind of went dormant for a while, and then we saw Rivendell, which is a really beautiful set. and now we have Barad-dûr. And so I don't know what's going to continue with the theme. We've seen a couple brickheads as well, so I'm not really sure what's going to continue with the theme, but I'm very interested to find out. I think this is a pretty excellent entry. Very happy to have this. I've started building Sauron's tower, and we'll see how long that takes me. I'm sure it'll be quite a bit. Definitely something that needs to be done, at least for me, more than one day to build that. But yeah, very cool set. Really liking this quite a bit. Wish it was a little bit more widely available. I know it sold out pretty fast. And like I said, something I definitely wouldn't mind having more than one of, but definitely not something I'm going to be buying a second of, given what secondary market price points, whatever we want to call it. It's fetching quite a hefty sum, and I will not be buying any duplicates at that price. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.